He had 4 rings. He was the all-time leading scorer. He had been to more NBA finals than anyone in his era. But the second LeBron James questioned whether rings should define greatness, the basketball world erupted. On a podcast meant to reflect on the beauty of the game, LeBron lit a firestorm. His comments didn't just ruffle feathers, they shook the foundation of how we judge greatness in sports. Suddenly, Shannon Sharpe, his longtime TV ally, didn't defend him.
Okay, now LeBron, did you feel this way before you had championships or after you got them?
Rob Parker lost it on live radio.
On one hand, he's talking about, I don't know why we're talking about rings or whatever. He's the one. Kelvin, that wasn't somebody imitating him. He's the one talking up about 7 rings. He's the one who left Cleveland, his hometown, and went to go chase rings in Miami. He's the one who keeps leaving to came to L.A. to chase rings.
And former NHL star P.K. Subban slammed the door shut on LeBron's entire argument.
My dream was to win a cup. It wasn't to drive around in an Escalade. It wasn't to wear nice tailored suits. It wasn't to have the nicest watch. It wasn't to score a bunch of points. It was to win a championship.
So what made one sentence about ring culture cause so much chaos? And does LeBron have a point? Or did he just take a swing at the very thing that made him who he is? To understand why this debate got so personal and what it reveals about legacy, ego, and greatness itself, we have to start with the comment that started it all. Real quick, we put in serious time crafting these deep dive NBA documentaries to bring you stories the media won't touch this way. So if you're into breakdowns like this, subscribing is the easiest way to make sure you never miss the next one. Now, back to it.
Let's go. Let's go. Do it. Do it. Do it.
I subscribe to that.
The comment that sparked the fire. On his podcast, Mind the Game, LeBron answered a simple question. What do you think about ring culture? He didn't hold back. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport, he said. It's just weird to me. LeBron compared himself to NFL legends like Peyton Manning and MLB icons like Barry Bonds, athletes celebrated despite not having enough rings. He argued that greatness shouldn't be reduced to jewelry. It was a subtle comment, but for many, it was an attempt to rewrite history. Because here's the twist, LeBron built his career chasing rings. Not 1, not 2, not 3.
Came down here to win championships. Not 1, championships.
Not 2.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. Hey.
That infamous line from his Heat introduction was a promise to win because rings mattered. And now, 14 years later, he was walking it back. But this wasn't just a contradiction. To his critics, it was something much deeper. A deflection, a preemptive excuse. And this is where Shannon Sharpe, of all people, shocked everyone. Shannon Sharpe turns on LeBron. If there was ever a LeBron loyalist on TV, it was Shannon Sharpe. From defending his stats to calling him the GOAT on FS1's Undisputed, Shannon had always been in LeBron's corner. Which is why what he said next surprised nearly everyone. I get what LeBron's trying to say, Shannon started, but when you're having a GOAT conversation, when you have to add est, championships matter. Shannon acknowledged LeBron's impact. He praised the longevity, the all-around dominance, the unprecedented career totals. But then he asked a critical question. Would LeBron be making this argument if he had 6 or 7 rings? The silence said everything. Shannon pointed out that LeBron looked up to Jordan, Magic, and Bird, 3 players defined by winning. There's a reason he left Cleveland. He wanted a championship, Shannon said. And this raised an uncomfortable truth LeBron couldn't escape. You can't spend your career chasing validation through rings, and then dismiss them when they hurt your argument. But what Shannon said next would go even deeper, and that's where the conversation took a turn toward legacy, insecurity, and image. The insecurity behind the statement. Shannon didn't just question LeBron's logic, he questioned the motivation behind it. This seems like something LeBron's saying, not to us, but to himself, he said. Think about that. LeBron is one of the most successful athletes in sports history. He's a billionaire. He's a mogul. His resume is unmatched. So why does a conversation about Michael Jordan still get under his skin? P.K. Subban offered a theory. To me, in some ways, it can be insulting to say rings don't matter. In Subban's world, hockey, the Stanley Cup is sacred. Nothing is bigger than the trophy. It's what you play for. So when LeBron, a player who orchestrated super teams to chase championships, downplayed the importance of winning, it felt like a betrayal, like someone trying to unwrite the history they helped create. And if that contradiction wasn't enough to cause backlash, what Rob Parker said next was, Rob Parker explodes on air. Rob Parker didn't just disagree with LeBron, he exploded. On The Odd Couple, Parker unleashed one of the most passionate rants of his career. You're the one who left Cleveland. You're the one who created a super team. You're the one who said not 5, not 6, and now rings don't matter? Parker called it what he believed it was, damage control. He claimed LeBron knew the GOAT conversation was slipping away. With a 4-6 finals record and no realistic path to match Jordan's 6-0, the only move left was to downplay the rules of the debate. And that's why Parker said what so many others were thinking. If LeBron had 8 or 10 rings, do you think he'd be saying this? But Parker wasn't just critiquing LeBron, he was defending the essence of sports. We keep score, we hand out trophies, it matters. He said, that's why we play the game. But as explosive as Parker's take was, the conversation reached a new level when P.K. Subban introduced a comparison that made LeBron's comments feel even more hollow. The athlete double standard. Subban brought up a fascinating contradiction. We celebrate greatness in sports like baseball and hockey, but we never ignore winning. He compared LeBron to Barry Bonds. Sure, Bonds never won a World Series, but he had the numbers, the dominance, the MVPs. That's why he's still considered one of the best. But the key difference? Barry Bonds never downplayed championships. He didn't have to. LeBron, however, built an empire around winning, and now seemed to be questioning its importance. And here's where the logic breaks down. If rings don't matter, why did LeBron recruit Hall of Famers to join him? Why move teams 3 times in pursuit of winning? The truth is, fans remember who won. They always have. And if LeBron's goal is to be considered the GOAT, the harsh reality is this. You can't be the greatest without greatness in the moments that matter most. But this all leads to one last unavoidable question. What really drives the GOAT debate? LeBron's legacy is secure. His resume is historic. But the GOAT debate isn't about resumes, it's about feeling. When people argue about Jordan, Kobe, or LeBron, they aren't just debating stats, they're debating aura, clutch, killer instinct, rings, and whether fair or not, winning is the trump card. Michael Jordan went 6-0, Kobe won 5 without leaving. LeBron, he's 4-6. That record isn't a footnote, it's a narrative. So when LeBron questions why rings matter, it doesn't sound like a philosophical argument. It sounds like frustration. It sounds like regret. And most of all, it sounds like someone who knows they won't ever win that final argument. LeBron's comments about ring culture weren't just a podcast throwaway. They touched a nerve because they revealed the tension between achievement and perception. He's done enough to be respected. He's done more than enough to be admired. But in the debate over who's the greatest, numbers aren't enough. Stories matter. Winning matters. And rings, like it or not, are the symbols of those stories. LeBron may never win that debate. And maybe that's why this one comment made the world listen so closely. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more no-nonsense NBA storytelling that actually makes you think, hit subscribe and keep the conversation going in the comments. You drive this channel forward, and we appreciate every one of you. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Please like and subscribe.